Hey, what's going on? Berkeley Moses here, solid as a b-ball. Lucky to be joined with Western guard, Johnny Avgousti. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to talking to you.
And while you're here, please subscribe and comment. Just help out a little bit. We're trying to build a channel over here and build up a good podcast. So we're going to be talking to Johnny today, just going over a few questions, talking about his path to Western and what he expects. So you may know have seen Johnny at Ridley College. He's one of the standout guards there. Do you just want to give a little bit about your background and your experience at Ridley College?
Yeah, so I went to Ridley, transferred there in grade 11. First year we had a really talented team. A lot of like fifth years older guys, post grads like Jaden Bediako, Noah Warden, Anthony Dowdu, Malcolm Bailey as well. And yeah, we made a really deep run in the OSBA playoffs. I think we lost to TRC in the semis. I think we were the number 2 team all year behind Orangeville, so we definitely could have gone to the finals. Yeah, I love my time there. Kind of mostly transferred there, I'd say. At the time, they were the only private school in the OSBA. Academics was a big part. Kind of those are my 2 priorities in life, basketball and academics. So yeah, really was like a no-brainer choosing that school. Terry Upshaw too, like in the recruiting process. Really got along with him, built a good relationship with him as well. So there, and yeah, and then my grade 12 year, also had a really good year there. In terms of like as a team, we didn't really like do well, like we were like middle of the pack all year and stuff, but from like an individual standpoint, had a lot of touches, was pretty much like the guy on the team. Really gave me an opportunity to like grow and develop as a player, more importantly as like a leader as well. So yeah, and my 2 years there, I absolutely loved it.
What were your impressions of the OSBA basketball? Was it everything you thought it would be? Was it the challenge that you were looking for at that time of your career?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say when I made the jump from grade 10 to grade 11, at first I was kind of like, whoa, like this is like a big jump. Like first game, my first game in grade 11, I think it was against like Lincoln Prep. And just like, you gotta like, for example, high school basketball, you can get away without playing defense. You can take plays off. At the time, since I was like a young guy in the league as well, and it was like my first year, it was like definitely a big jump, definitely more physical, and just the game, you know, you have a lot more like talent. Games played at a faster pace. Better guys, they're definitely stronger too. So I'd say physicality was probably like the biggest aspect of it. Fast and just like a higher level of like IQ in general too. But yeah. And then in my grade,
a bit off camera about how OSBA is starting to phase out the high school basketball a bit. Do you think for the talent that's coming out of the OSBA that's a sacrifice that's kind of worth it? Do you think the trade-off is worth it, even if it negatively impacts the high school arena?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, we talked about before, like kind of the high school basketball scene is like watered down. I would say in terms of like for like Canada basketball in general, it's been a good thing just because you're keeping players at home. Necessarily like you don't need to go to the States anymore as much to get recruited. Like some of the top guys still go, obviously, but definitely like more opportunities and more eyes on Canadian basketball because of it. I'd say like the only downside is back like then like offset used to be the biggest thing and kind of like everyone goes to their home high schools, you know, you had like Powderhouse and it would be like a fun like environment, like for example like and stuff like rivalries and stuff, so that like aspect maybe isn't there as much because it's like pretty like new as well. But not definitely for like Canadian basketball, I'd say it's definitely been a good thing overall.
We touched on the high school. Do you think it's watering down the AAU basketball as well?
No, I'd say the AAU here, like most players play for like Canadian programs. Yeah. I'd say like maybe like the odd guy will like go to a prep school in the States and play there. But in terms of AAU programs, like I think definitely they've kept all the top guys. All like especially like the sponsor teams like like Canada Elite, U Play,
Northern Kings, okay. And so you think it's because you see a lot of the the OSBA teams, the prep teams, they have a lot of feeder AAU teams that kind of where most of them have it at this point, right? So I guess they kind of get the OSBA, the structure of that, and then they get the runs of the AAU at the same time.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because like for like Thornton Lee's backed by Canada Elite, so like our like Thornton Elite team, like this past year, for example, like that whole team, like 80% of the guys were on Canada Elite. You know, like Orangeville, like their whole team, like that Orangeville team, from 2 years ago was like the bounce team as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely kind of like the big like AU programs definitely like, kind of like have like a stake or like kind of like provide like the backbone for like leagues like the OSPA to like thrive.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing overall because you see the camaraderie with the players and you see guys get to develop and play with guys throughout the full 12 months as opposed to like before where someone might play AAU here and over there and it's all kind of spread out. I think would you agree with that it's helped the camaraderie of the players and kind of build those bonds?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like definitely like when you're like kind of practicing with the same team, like you're playing with the same guys all year round, like you build better chemistry as well. And just like more of like a family aspect where like, because usually AAU, like there's always guys like jumping around every year. So it's definitely helped like kind of like retain guys and like certain guys, like you look at then and be like, oh, like he's a bounce kid, he's a Canada Elite kid, he's a UCLA kid, and that. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So kind of help the brand and give yourself that branding there and keep you more stable.
Yeah. No, for sure.
What was the process like to get recruited to Western out of high school?
Yeah, so I kind of always knew if I was going to stay in Canada, it was going to be Western. Kind of when I was younger, my aspirations were to play D1, especially at an Ivy League school. And I think like a lot of kids share that similar goals. Obviously, it doesn't happen for everyone. But yeah, in terms of Western, so Coach Joel, JDC or Joel Del Carmen, I've known him since grade 9. And Coach Brad, I met at OFSA in grade 10. And kind of 3 main reasons why I chose Western. Number one, relationship with the coaches. I've known them the longest. I feel like they really like made me a priority in the recruiting process as well throughout those years. And my relationship with them, like compared to like my relationship with coaches from other schools, like it doesn't compare. Number 2, academics. So kind of outside of basketball, like if I wasn't playing basketball, they're business school, so Ivy, and they kind of give you an option to get like a dual degree because it starts in 3rd year. So I'm kind of passionate about engineering and I'm going to combine it with business. So it's like a 5-year program. You get 2 degrees from it. So that's the second reason. And then 3rd reason for the basketball, kind of before they weren't really, I wouldn't say Western was known as like a top like Canadian basketball school. 2 years ago, they had a really good run of the final or nationals, made it all the way to the Final Four, came 4th. So definitely a program on the rise. We have a really good young core as well. So I think we have the chance to be special in 2-3 years. So yeah, I'd say those 3 main things and just somewhere to like come good balance of school and basketball and just like get better in practice every day, competing against other high level guys. So yeah, that's kind of why I chose Western.
For sure. Did you have any exposure to the OUA before you got to Western, or were you exposed in any type of way to the type of basketball, the style of basketball that they play?
To be honest, not as much. When I was younger, like I've probably been to like a UFT game or like a York game, like when I was younger, like maybe like once or twice, but not until my grade, like probably like 2 years ago, like again, watching Western, make their run. That was like a big thing.
Yeah.
And kind of since they were recruiting me as well, I started tuning in like the Laurier game. I think it was OUA semifinals. That was like the first big game that I watched, and it was like probably one of the best games I've ever seen, if not probably the best game I've ever seen. It was crazy. So yeah, but I haven't really, when I was younger, not as much, but kind of recently, like past 2 years, like over the summer, I watched like a lot of film from Western, like for their games and stuff. So I've got accustomed to it. But yeah.
From your initial first impressions, how would you say the systems compare from high school to the system that you're running in Western?
Yeah, I'd say definitely like in general, like you got like more like coaches more focused on like little details, like a lot of like the little details matter, where for example in high school you can get away with a lot of stuff. You don't have to be as specific just because like you're not playing against men, like the talent level, like some teams aren't as good, so you can like just like purely based off your talent you can beat them, I guess. But yeah, definitely here is like a lot more like system based, like kind of with my IQ, like in high school, like I was like a high IQ player. That's what like a lot of people would say about me, and I thought I knew a lot about basketball, which I think I still like do, but in terms of just like how much more room there is to grow and just like the short time I've been here, I've like in the month, like 5 weeks I've been here so far, just like there's like a lot more like IQ involved thinking, and like little details are like super important. Like you got to be at like exact positions on the floor, making different reads. So yeah, definitely just like say just making like reads at a higher level, and just like there's like more reads to be made. I say that's the biggest difference from university to high school.
How has your body reacted to the level of physicality? How are you doing, like injury wise, or how's your body feeling now?
I say good during training camp. I got here last week of August, and we were doing like 2-a-days. So that was definitely like high school practices. It was still like not to say I wasn't like tired, but I was kind of like used to it. We didn't go like as hard, I'd say, but definitely here, like legit university practices, going against like older guys in practice, man, for example, definitely like more wear and tear on your body. And yeah, just like the physicality aspect too. I feel like for me, it hasn't been as much of an adjustment just because last year and past years, I've like my body has been like a really big focus in my like workouts and like what I've been focusing on as a player. Cause I say my athleticism too, that's like my biggest weakness right now. So I've really been working on my body over quarantine. I got pretty big too, in terms of putting on mass and size. So yeah, I'd say physicality hasn't been too much of an adjustment. And I was kind of expecting it too, because that's what a lot of people said was the biggest adjustment, but definitely that. And yeah, in terms of like your body, like definitely like injury prevention and just like the little stuff, like definitely like you got to stretch after high school. Like you can get away from just about stretching, but yeah, you definitely gotta take this stuff, and just like taking care of your body is like super important, I'd say. Yeah.
How would you say your first impressions of Western on the campus are?
So far it's been awesome. Like I've like loved it here. Campus is really nice. In terms of like what, like for example, the classes, like just walking around everywhere, like there's a ton of people outside. Fun school too. Say like a lot of girls too. Yeah, but in terms of like campus, like it's really nice campus, and yeah, just like the vibes you kind of get walking around too. Seeing everyone, like a lot of people like you like know too, you see around and stuff. So definitely like a really like good, like not like positive, but like how do I put it? Just like a kind of like a fun place to be.
Yeah, like a vibrant type of vibe over there.
Like a lot of energy and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say the coach's first impressions of you are with your first few weeks on campus?
Coaches?
Yeah.
I'd say like I've like in like conversations I've had with him, like he said like I adjusted pretty well. I would say I'm a pretty like mature kid too. So kind of he said like I fit in with the guys right away and stuff. Obviously, like as a rookie, like for example, first practices and stuff, definitely like made some like mistakes just because I'm like used to like not playing at that level, just like stuff you gotta get like used to, like little habits and stuff. But already in the short time, I feel like I've like grown a lot, and coaches like seen that too. Yeah, I think he's said I've been doing well so far. Obviously, like a lot of room to grow and improve still as well. But yeah, definitely a good. Say I've got off to a good start so far.
Are there any players that kind of took you under their wing as that little brother kind of guy, and they're helping you along the way, even if it's not at Western? Any other OUA players that are kind of taking you, say, look, you know what, I've been through it. Let me give you some game. That way you can smooth it a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'd say so. 2 guys on the team, Omar Shidu and Yukasha Khan. Like so, mine like I call them like O'Malley and Cash.
Yeah.
Those are 2 guys like I've like got along with like super well. Like those are like my guys. And like always just in practice and stuff, like they're always talking to me, helping me out. Like literally like every play, like they'll be talking to me just to like build that like good habits and stuff, and like stuff like that. I like, for example, like what like they know what it takes to win at this level. Yeah. So kind of like getting me and like just like kind of looking after me too and stuff, like making sure I'm getting stuff. Omar, you know, he's like one of the best scorers in the OUA, like probably if not like the best scorer, I think, for this coming year too. So just like learning from him as well, little stuff, little tricks and stuff from him so far has been good. And yeah, I'd say those are definitely like 2 guys who are kind of been like mentors early on for me on the team. But yeah.
What are you hoping to accomplish during your career? Maybe a national championship or personal goals, or maybe getting recruited to a professional level? What are you hoping to get out of your time at Western?
Yeah, I'd say like obviously national championship is the ultimate goal. I think definitely even this year, you know, we're pretty like young team. We still have vets, but we definitely still have like the tools, and we can definitely achieve that this year. You know, I think this year we want to make it back to nationals back to where they were before 2 years ago. And overall, like kind of looking forward in the future. I feel like we have a really good young core here, really talented, like special group. So I think in 2-3 years, like we have a chance to be really special. Definitely national championship again is the goal. Multiple would be nice, more than one, maybe 2 or 3. I'd say, and then after here, definitely want to play pro. I think playing professionally in Europe is definitely a realistic and achievable goal. As long as you put the work in. And yeah, so I would say win a national championship. In terms of like individual success, I'm not like too worried about that stuff. Like I think like if I like work hard and like team success, like that's like I kind of put that above myself.
Sure.
And I think like as like a group too, we have a really good group where guys like a lot of like not a lot of egos and stuff, and like a lot of like selfless guys too are willing to like play for each other as well. Obviously like making like for example like all like OUA or all U sports team, that would definitely be a goal down the future. And I think like if we like kind of take care of stuff as a team, like that stuff will kind of like sort itself out and things. So yeah, I definitely say individually like kind of OUA, like all OUA team and all like U sports team, stuff like that. But yeah, and playing pro, definitely in Europe after. See how far I can go.
That's a good look, man. You're young, definitely talented. You're on the right path. You stay there. You seem to have your head on straight, which is good. We just keep pushing forward. One thing I wanted to ask when we were on the body stuff, what's your approximate height and weight right now?
Yeah, so I'm 6'5". I could like boost to like 6'6", but I don't like to like boost and stuff. Yeah, so it's like legit 6'5".
6'5", okay.
Right now I'm at about like 195 pounds. Over quarantine, like especially peak quarantine, like I guess like last in like January, February, like during the biggest lockdown, I definitely like kind of put on more weight. Like I got to like 205, but that was just because I was like usually with school, like we pretty much like played all day, and like in terms of like calories, like I'm kind of really like looked after like my calorie intake. So like before, just because I was so active, like I had to eat a lot, like say like 4,000 calories a day, or else I would just burn it.
Yeah.
So even though when like peak quarantine hit and basketball stopped, I was like still eating that same amount.
For sure. Yeah.
I like definitely put on a couple like more pounds worth thing, but then obviously I got back down playing at 2, and even like when I was like playing at 200 when we got back in the gym, like I was like I could feel that extra weight kind of slowing me down because I wasn't used to playing at that weight. But I'd probably say the range like 190, 195, probably like closer to 195. But yeah, 190, 195 is like a good weight, like ideal weight I'd say I want to play at. And yeah, right now I'm like around like 195, maybe 194. But yeah.
What do you play at Ridley?
Ridley, I was sitting around like 185, 190.
Okay. So you're still fairly big compared to comparatively. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good size. We'll just end it off with some random questions. Who's your favorite NBA player?
James Harden.
James Harden. Is he the one you most model your game after or try to emulate on the court?
Nah, I don't think I play anything like James Harden. To be honest, like I just like him. I personally think he's like the greatest like offensive player and scorer in NBA history. I just like love like just like what is it like I like just like the way he's able to like score the ball and stuff. He's like fun to watch. So I'd say him. In terms of like guys I like to like model my game after, one would be Klay Thompson, just because of like how like efficient he is. Doesn't need a lot of dribbles to be effective, so definitely strive to be like that. Maybe a bit of Jason Tatum as well. Like I've been a fan of him since his high school days. Devin Booker as well, and then a lot of people say I play like JJ Redick too.
Okay.
So, yeah, I say like I like the like crafty like shooting guards and like big shooting guards. Like that prototype, but yeah.
What do you think about the Raptors this coming year?
On it, like I'm a like diehard Raptors fan. I would say like when they won it all, like it was crazy. I think we'll still be good. I think like a lot of people, especially in the States, like they're sleeping on us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like I think Lowry like leading was a big hit as well.
I think so too. Yeah.
I was really sad about that, but yeah, I think we'll still be like I think like make it like a 7-8 seed is probably like a realistic, maybe as high as like 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say the 6-8 range is probably like a good goal for us to make the playoffs, and hopefully Scotty can develop well and say that.
Yeah, he seems to like the city and stuff. He seems to want to be involved in everything like that. So I think hopefully if we get a 6 seed and maybe a round or two, it'll probably be you call it a year. You know what I mean? It's a tough league. So yeah. All right. Thanks for doing this, man. I appreciate you. Hopefully see you guys again in the national championship or the OUAs or something. I'll try and be at games and catch up with you guys. And yeah, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, for sure.
Stay
Yeah,
on for a moment or two after, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.